Please welcome back to our show, the great John Legend. This is like a homecoming for you.
A toast to you.
A
toast. With the latest edition from your new wine line.
LDE.
Congratulations.
This is my red blend and my Chardonnay.
I went Chardonnay during the
Very
day.
highly rated wine.
Let's see.
Okay.
All
I like
from
what you're
Napa
working
Valley.
with
That
right
is
here.
smooth.
There we go.
Right
Okay,
there.
I'm not mad at that at all. Thank you very
And
much.
congrats on everything with your family.
Thank
How's
you.
the new baby?
Esti is doing so well, and our older kids are doing so well, like welcoming her to the family. We're having a great time.
That's. By the way, I like that you revealed the name right away, because I don't know this new trend. People don't want to say their names. We still don't know Rihanna's baby's name. We don't. You know what I'm saying?
Is that true?
Yeah,
it
we
didn't
don't
register to me that we didn't know his name.
We don't know. That's the whole thing now.
Oh,
and I'm like,
wow.
oh, I'm glad you said the name.
And Esti, is that a family name?
Well, my great-grandmother's name was Esther, and a lot of Jewish families will name their daughter Esther, and Esti will be like the name they call them. And Chrissy has Jewish ancestry as well, so she looked it up, and she was like, I'm going to do this as a nod to my Jewish ancestry. And then my grandmother's middle name was Maxine, so her name is Esti Maxine
That's
Stevens.
beautiful.
There you go. How are the kids?
Well, the
With,
kids, they're really doing well. And we weren't sure because they seemed like they were jealous when she was inside, Chrissy. But now that she's out, they just love like taking care of her, hugging on her, kissing on her, and feeding her. They do the whole thing.
I'll
They
never
like being
forget
big
when
siblings.
we had the littlest one, my other one, older one, said,
like,
wait, is he
"Can
going to
stay
stay
in?"
with us? You gonna stay?
I've heard that. And I have friends that told me like some of the older siblings were like, send him back.
Yeah, right.
John, it was so cute before we went on. I said, congrats on the baby. 3 is a lucky number. And you said, maybe even more.
You know, we may have more. We'll see.
I love that.
Yeah, man. Good for you.
That you can
Keep it
say
going.
that now when you're in the trenches with like 3 littles
Yeah.
is a great thing.
I feel like we've adjusted really well to the new one, and it makes us feel like we could do another one.
I love that.
I'm assuming you're, they already got piano lessons, the 2 older ones, right?
No, they haven't.
really?
I keep like asking them, talking to them. I'm not going to force them, but I'm like, if you guys want to, and they come to my shows all the time, and they love music. They sing along to my songs all the time, but they're like, no, I don't want to do it.
Really?
And that's fine.
Are you the
They're
best
like,
lullaby dad? You got it. Do you
I
just
do a
sing
good
Esti?
lullaby.
Oh.
Well, I was on the Beauty and the Beast remake soundtrack,
Oh, yeah.
and that was the first song that they like heard of mine that they fell in love with, and now they listen to my regular music too. But
They're like, oh, look at you, Dad.
and my son is like my biggest fan. Like in the car, when I'm driving them to school, I let them pick the song, and I'll be like, hey Siri, play this or play that. And Miles always picks daddy songs.
Hey, that's cool.
And-
What are the ages now?
Miles is 4, Luna is 6, and they're both spring babies, so they'll be 7 and 5 very soon.
There you go.
And do
then
you
Esti
think
is
Miles
newborn.
is your twin? Like you guys
Oh, he
look
looks just like me.
exactly like you.
Yeah. Well, Chrissy's half Thai. I always say that Luna is like a blacker version of Chrissy, and Miles is like a Thai-ish version of me.
That's great.
There you go. That's some good food right there.
Right?
Good food in the house
Look how
right
cute.
there.
Yes, we have very good food traditions. Soul food and Thai food. Our kids are good.
Because we were talking right before, it feels like you're back at home because on the Universal lot here is where you do the voice, of course.
Yes.
And it's Blake's last season, man.
It's Blake's last season, and I'm not here this season, but I'm coming back later. But Blake has been, just a staple for our show for 23 seasons, I think it is, 22
Yeah.
seasons.
That's crazy.
And he's been the heart and soul of the show, so we're going to miss him.
John, for you, when you see it now, does it feel weird? Because I feel
It
like
feels
you're such a
weird.
part of this show.
Because ever since I've been on the show, I've never taken a season off. And
Yeah.
this is my first season I've taken off. So I'm like driving around seeing billboards without me on them. I'm like, what's happening? What's happening?
Well, John, grab your wine, sit tight right there because the Oscars are coming up. We're gonna look back at your big moment.
Yes.
Plus,
Yes.
we gotta talk about your new skincare line.
Yes.
You're simply glowing over there.
Glowing,
It's all coming
enjoying
up.
the wine.
There you go.
We're back with John Legend. And is that the first song you wrote for your wife, Chrissy?
It's not the first one I wrote for her, but I wrote it as we were engaged and about to get married, and it came out right around when we got married. We shot the video that week, the week we got married at Lake Como in Italy, and it's the 10th anniversue of all that this year.
Coming up in 10 years.
Man.
Yeah, September is the 10th anniversary.
I'm always curious with the process. Do the lyrics first, the arrangement? Does
The
it
music
depend?
usually comes first for me. So
music
usually
comes
I'll
first?
have like a musical idea, and sometimes it's my own idea. Sometimes I'm working with producers that make beats that kind of push me in a certain direction, and then I'll usually mumble things that don't make any sense. So I'll have a melody, and I don't know what the lyric is yet, and then the lyric comes from the music.
Yeah, I love that process. That's cool.
It's fun.
I
I did a whole master class on it, so people can like, you check out my master class, you actually see the entire process, and I explain it through a bunch of my songs. Yeah.
That's a true artist right there. All I'm thinking, you don't ever have to get another gift again. If you've written that song about your wife, that is so incredible. That should
Tell
cover
Chrissy
every
that.
birthday, Valentine's Day, right? I mean, that should cover it all right there.
You probably got a nice little roster of songs specifically for her.
Well, I do a series on my TikTok, songs I wrote about Chrissy, and there's quite a few.
Yeah.
How many are there if you had to
I don't
pick?
know if I could count, but there's definitely more than a dozen.
Hey, you shouldn't have to buy her anything.
No,
That's
that's
it.
it. You got the
He's
whole
coming
thing
in.
right there.
Speaking of songs, you took some of your favorite songs from the last album, Legend,
Yes.
stripped them down. I love when an
So
artist does
raw.
that.
Yes.
What was the inspiration behind releasing this version?
Well, I do solo piano versions of my songs all the time. Like I do them at shows. I do some gigs where it's just me by myself. I just did one at Walt Disney Concert Hall here in LA where I just did it by myself. And I love doing that format, but I never actually released an album of mine like
cool.
that. And my label president, Wendy Goldstein, was like, why don't you just do a piano version of this album? And I was like, yeah, why not? And I went in the studio and just started tinkering around with each of the songs, seeing if I could make a cool solo version of them. And I picked the ones I thought made the best solo versions and put them out.
God, it's so great.
There you go.
And then we got the Oscars coming up.
Yes.
We have an EGOT in our presence right here. That would never get old for me right here.
I mean, it's a very small group of people that have gotten the EGOT, and so I'm always really grateful, and I don't take it for granted.
What you remember about that night?
Oh, well, we won the Oscar for Glory. We wrote it for Selma, which was a beautiful film about Martin Luther King Jr. And, you know, whenever you're writing something, there's so much pressure anyway, but when you're writing for a film about Dr. King, when there haven't been that many films about him, you just want it to be special. And Common called me up and said, you know, John, I had this idea. He was in the movie, he acted in the movie, and he said, Ava DuVernay is looking for the perfect closing song. And so I was on the road in Europe at the time, and I wrote the chorus for Glory and sent it to him, and he wrote his verses. And then we do the song, and it really, like, grabs a lot of people and moves a lot of people. And we just started winning all the awards, the Golden Globes, all the ones leading up to the Oscars. And so we had a good feeling we might win that night. And so I really wanted to say a speech that was going to be worthy of the moment, worthy of the film. And we got up there and we were able to accept for the film, for the song, and it was just a beautiful, magical night.
Not a dry eye.
Music
for
really
that
does make
speech.
these
Yeah, I
songs,
remember I saw clips of all the actors crying out there in the audience. It was quite a moment.
Rihanna's nominated for the same category
Yes,
that
I
you
love that
won,
song.
and
Yes.
which is so great. Is it true you lived in her house at one point?
Yes, so a house that she lived in, we bought a couple owners later, so we didn't buy it directly from her. And then we've sold it since then, and now we live somewhere else. But yeah, we lived in the same house.
That's good karma. Where's that house?
And we're big Rihanna fans, so we like listen to her music all the time, and you know.
That's
and
so cool.
We lived in the same house.
That's
good
good. That's
karma.
got some good mojo
Yes.
in that house right there. All right, switching gears, you've got into the skincare
Look at
game.
that, Mom.
Yes.
My wife actually, she said, we got it in the shower right now.
Yes.
Tell us about the line before.
So it's called Loved One, and we, you know, I've gotten offers to do skincare lines before, and I've worked with other skincare brands, but when our parent company came to me, they said, you know, one thing that's really missing from the skincare industry is really focusing on melanin-rich skin, so people of color, brown skin, darker skin, and there just wasn't that much skincare research or much skincare products available that were made with browner and darker skins in mind. And so I was like, well, that's a reason to create something new. And we wanted to do it at a price that was affordable and accessible and at places where people normally shop. So we're selling everything for like $10 and $15.
Love that.
And they're at CVS and they're at Walmart now. And we felt like it would be filling a gap that was missing.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's been fun
Wait,
developing
I heard
the product.
it smells so great.
Well,
Has to
some
be
of the
something.
products are scented, some are not. So the moisturizer, which I love, is not scented, but it's really creamy.
When your skin's been looking so good,
It's
Courtney
really
brought
good.
you some
Try
home.
to
She
squeeze
got,
some out
I
of
fall
there.
into that
Yes.
melanin category
So
right
your wife
there.
interviewed me on E! News, and we talked about it there, and I heard she brought some products home.
She did. She goes, she's
Oh,
all,
it's
hey,
so
John, how'd you give
great.
it? And I said, oh, cool.
It's really about moisture because darker skin tones actually lose moisture more quickly. And so a
didn't know
lot of even our cleansing products, our shaving products, all of them have a focus on moisture. So it'll be nice and silky.
You know
There
what?
we
All
go.
of your stuff has a focus on love.
Yes.
There's love in this title.
So we got
Your wine,
LVE is our wine, and we got Loved One, and I've
That's
had
who you
albums.
are.
There
Yes.
we go. Well, it's been getting a lot of great reviews, man. So congrats on
yeah.
that.
Thank you.
In particular, this one. Let's check it out.
All right, guys. John Legend sent me some moisturizer, scrubs, a mist. I'm gonna try it out. All of me loves all of you. Works.
It worked. It worked.
My boy Maniscalco. Hey, I'd be drowning in it if I could sing like that.
That's my buddy Sebastian.
Yeah,
And
he's
Sebastian is obviously a great comedian, and he's a friend of ours. And yes, it makes him sing better, apparently.
There you go, yeah.
I feel like I
He's
wanna
Italian. He's got a
doubt
little bit of skin right there. That'll work.
John, great to see you. Congrats
Great to
on
see
everything.
you.
Thanks for coming
Thank you
by.
so much.
Tell
Right on.
Chrissy and the family we love them. John's Unisex Skincare line, Loved One, available now online and at CVS stores nationwide.